students, welcome to my video on ionic or electrovalent bond. Through this video, you will learn about ionic bond, its definition, how ionic compounds are formed, about electrovalency, and about the factors favoring the formation of ionic bond. Now, what's the definition of an ionic bond? An ionic or electrovalent bond is formed by the complete transfer of one or more valence electrons of one atom to another atom. Thus, in this way, both the atoms acquire the stable electronic configurations of the nearest noble gases. Now, how is an ionic bond formed? We know that its atoms are electrically neutral. Hence, they should possess equal number of protons and equal number of electrons. Upon losing an electron, an atom acquires a positive charge and it becomes a positive ion, or in other words, cation, since now the number of protons present in it is greater than the number of electrons. This is given by the process M gas gives M plus gas plus electron. Here, M stands for metals. Usually, electropositive metals belonging to S block elements which have a strong tendency to lose their electron form cations. When an atom gains an electron, it acquires a negative charge, and it becomes a negative ion, or in other words, an anion. Since now the number of electrons in it is greater than the number of protons present in it. This is given by the process X gas plus electron gives X minus gas. Here X stands for electronegative element. Usually, electronegative elements which have a strong tendency to gain an electron form anion. The two oppositely charged ions so formed attract each other by electrostatic forces of attraction. The bond thus formed is called an ionic bond or electrovalent bond. Compounds containing ionic or electrovalent bonds are called ionic compounds or electrovalent compounds. Note that such a type of bond is formed only when one of the atoms can easily lose electrons while the other atom can easily gain electrons. Thus, by the formation of an ionic bond, both the atoms acquire the stable electronic configurations of the nearest noble gases. Students, shall we now get acquainted with the term electrovalency? What does it mean? The number of electrons which an atom loses or gains while forming an ionic bond is given by the electrovalency of an atom. It is just a number. Of what? It is the number of electrons which is lost or gained during the formation of an ionic bond by an atom. This is given by the electrovalency of an atom. Now, let us study the formation of sodium chloride in order to understand the formation of an ionic bond between sodium and chlorine. We know that the electronic configuration of sodium with atomic number 11 can be simply written as 2, 8, 1. Here the electronic configuration of sodium can be formally written as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 again corresponds to the configuration of the nearest noble gas neon. So, we can also write the electronic configuration of sodium as neon 3s1. Now, you can see that there is one electron in the outermost shell of sodium. So, in order to acquire 8 electrons in its outermost shell, sodium readily loses an electron and becomes Na plus ion. Thus, it acquires the octet configuration of neon as shown. Now, the electronic configuration of chlorine with atomic number 17 can be simply written as 2, 8, 7. However, it is formally written as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Here again, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, since it corresponds to the noble gas configuration of the nearest noble gas neon, the electronic configuration of chlorine can also be written as neon 3s2, 3p5. Now you can see that there are 7 electrons in the outermost shell of chlorine. So in order to acquire 8 electrons in its outermost shell, chlorine gains an electron and becomes chloride ion. Thus, the electronic configuration of chlorine changes from neon 3s2 3p5 to neon 3s2 3p6, which in turn is the electronic configuration of the next nearest noble gas, argon. Okay, thus we have two oppositely charged ions, Na plus and Cl minus here. Know that when two oppositely charged ions, that is Na plus and Cl minus ions, approach each other, electrostatic forces of attraction come into action between them. Okay, they will be held strongly, tightly by electrostatic forces of attraction. Thus, an ionic bond is formed between Na plus and Cl minus ions, which is given by the process Na plus plus Cl minus gives NaCl, or you can also write it as Na plus Cl minus. Okay. Now, what is the electrovalency of sodium and chlorine? In the process of formation of ionic bond, since sodium loses one electron, its electrovalency is 1. Remember, electrovalency corresponds to the number of electrons lost or gained during the formation of an ionic bond by an atom. Okay, since sodium loses an electron during the formation of an ionic bond between sodium and chlorine, its electrovalency is 1. Now, we know chlorine gains an electron during the formation of ionic bond. So, its electrovalency is also 1. Let us now look at one more example, formation of calcium fluoride. Okay, we know that the electronic configuration of calcium with atomic number 20 is simply written as 2, 8, 8, 2. It is formally written as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2. Here, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6 corresponds to the configuration of the nearest noble gas, argon. So, we can also write the electronic configuration of calcium as argon 4s2. Now you can see that there are 2 electrons in the outermost shell of calcium. So in order to acquire 8 electrons in its outermost shell, calcium readily loses 2 electrons and becomes calcium 2 plus ion. Okay, thus it acquires the octet configuration of argon as shown. Now the electronic configuration of fluorine with atomic number 9 is simply written as 2, 7. It is formally written as 1s2, 2s2, 2p5 or helium 2s2, 2p5. Here you can see that there are 7 electrons in the outermost shell of fluorine. So in order to acquire 8 electrons in its outermost shell, fluorine gains an electron and forms F minus ion with the electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Thus, the configuration of fluorine changes from helium 2s2, 2p5 to helium 2s2, 2p6 on gaining an electron. Okay, this in turn corresponds to the electronic configuration of neon. Okay, now in the formation of Ca2 plus, since calcium loses 2 electrons, the 2 electrons are transferred to 2 fluorine atoms, resulting in the formation of 2 fluoride ions with 1 negative charge each. When the positively charged calcium 2 plus ion approaches the 2 negatively charged fluoride ions, F minus ions, they are held together by strong electrostatic forces of attraction, leading to the formation of the ionic compound CaF2, calcium fluoride. And this is given by the process calcium 2 plus 2 F minus ions gives CaF2, or you can simply write it as Ca2 plus and within parenthesis F minus and write 2 as the subscript. Okay, why? Because there are 2 negatively charged F minus ions combining with Ca2 plus ion. Okay, now what is the electrovalency of calcium and fluorine? We know calcium loses 2 electrons to form Ca2 plus ion during the formation of ionic bond. So, its electrovalency is equal to the number of electrons lost by calcium. Okay, So how many electrons are lost by calcium in the formation of Ca2 plus ion? 2. So the electrovalency of calcium is 2. Now fluorine. Okay, fluorine gains 1 electron to form F minus ion. Okay, so the number of electron gained by one fluorine atom is equal to 1. So the electrovalency of fluorine is 1. Factors favoring the formation of ionic bond. Based on Kossel and Lewis approach of chemical bonding, formation of ionic compounds depend on two things. First one is the ease of formation of positive and negative ions from the respective neutral atoms, and the second one is the arrangement of positive and negative ions in the solid, or in other words skeletal framework or lattice of the crystalline compound. The formation of an ionic bond involves three processes. First one is the formation of a positive ion by ionization. What is ionization? It is the loss of electron by a neutral atom. Okay, this is given by the process M gas gives M plus gas plus electron. Since energy is required for the removal of the most loosely bound electron from a neutral atom, the ionization enthalpy value corresponding to this process is positive. The second process is the formation of a negative ion by the gain of electron by a neutral atom. This is given by the process X gas plus electron gives X minus gas. Since energy is released when an electron is gained by an atom, the electron gain enthalpy value corresponding to this process is negative. The third process is the electrostatic force of attraction between the positive and the negative ion. When the positive ion M plus gas approaches the negatively charged X minus ion, an ionic bond is formed between the two. This leads to the formation of MX, which is an ionic compound. Now, let's see how ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy, and lattice enthalpy values favor the formation of ionic bonds in ionic compounds. Let's move on to the first factor, ionization enthalpy. And let's see what value of ionization enthalpy would favor the formation of ionic bond. In general, for the formation of an ionic bond, a neutral atom should lose electron to form a cation. And this process, as we all know, requires energy, and we have studied about this in detail when we dealt with this in chapter 3. We also know the definition of ionization enthalpy. What is the definition? It is the energy required to remove the most loosely bound electron from the outermost shell of an isolated gaseous atom. The value of ionization enthalpy of an atom would be small when less amount of energy is needed to remove the electron from the neutral atom. Lesser the value of ionization enthalpy, easier will be the removal of electron from the atom to form cation, and hence greater will be the tendency to form ionic bond. So what do you understand from this statement, students? If less amount of energy is required to remove the electron from an atom, it means that the corresponding ionization enthalpy value would be small. Okay, you need to spend only less amount of energy to remove the electron from an atom to form its cation. If the value of ionization enthalpy is small, it means electron can be easily removed from an atom. So such atoms will show greater tendency to form ionic bond. For example, alkali metals have comparatively low ionization energies, and hence they readily form ionic compounds in the whole of the periodic table. See, if you compare the ionization energy values of all the elements in the periodic table, you will find that alkali metals have the lowest ionization energies. Okay, this is because they readily form ionic compounds. If you take the case of sodium of group 1 and magnesium of group 2, the ionization enthalpy of sodium is 495 kJ per mole. The ionization enthalpy of magnesium is 743 kJ per mole. And students, do note that the ionization enthalpies are positive here. Okay, if you compare the ionization enthalpy values of sodium and magnesium, which value is small? 495 kilojoule per mole is the smallest value, isn't it? So formation of positive ion of sodium is easier than that of magnesium. So sodium readily forms ionic compounds than magnesium. So once again I repeat, lesser the value of ionization enthalpy, easier will be the removal of electron from the atom to form cation, and hence greater will be the tendency to form ionic bond. Now the second factor, electron gain enthalpy. Let's see what value of electron gain enthalpy of atoms would favor the formation of ionic bonds. Okay, for the formation of an ionic bond, generally a neutral atom should gain an electron to form an anion. We know that energy is released when an electron is gained by a neutral gaseous atom. The energy change or the enthalpy change accompanying the process of gaining of an electron by a neutral atom is known as electron gain enthalpy, which is denoted by delta EGH. This you have learned in detail in chapter 3, right? The value of electron gain enthalpy gives you the tendency of an atom to form an anion. Greater the negative value of electron gain enthalpy, easier will be the addition of electron to the atom to form anion, and hence greater will be the tendency to form ionic bond. We know that atoms of elements show greater tendency to attract or gain electrons as we move from left to right across a period. Hence, halogens show greater tendency to attract electrons in any period. Now, let us compare two elements, oxygen and chlorine, and find out which among these elements can readily gain an electron from their electron gain enthalpy values, leading to the formation of an ionic compound with ease. Okay, now if you take chlorine, okay, in the formation of chloride ion, the electron gain enthalpy value for the process chlorine gas plus electron gives Cl minus gas is minus 348 kilojoule per mole. In the formation of oxide ion, oxygen gas gains an electron and forms O minus gas, and the electron gain enthalpy value associated with this process is minus 142 kilojoule per mole. Now note that the electron gain enthalpy values are negative here. If you compare the electron gain enthalpy values of Cl minus and O minus, which value is highly negative? The highly negative value is minus 348 kilojoule per mole, corresponding to the formation of chloride anion. Since the electron gain enthalpy value for the formation of Cl minus is a greater negative value than that for the formation of O minus anion, chlorine readily forms ionic compounds than oxygen. So, greater the negative value of electron gain enthalpy, easier will be the addition of electron to the atom to form anion, and hence greater will be the tendency to form ionic bonds. Now, the third factor is lattice enthalpy. What do you mean by the term lattice? Students, let me ask you a question. Do we all look alike? No, we differ from each other. Right? Bones play a great role in determining the way we look. The skeletal framework decides the shape of our body. Similarly, the term lattice denotes how the positive and negative ions are three-dimensionally arranged in ionic compounds. Now, what is lattice enthalpy or lattice energy? It is defined as the energy required to completely separate 1 mole of a solid ionic compound into gaseous constituent ions of opposite charges. Read the definition once more, children. It is the energy required to completely separate 1 mole of a solid ionic compound into gaseous constituent ions of opposite charges. See, there is a change of state associated with the separation of an ionic compound into its constituent ions. When energy is supplied to a solid ionic compound, it separates into its constituent gaseous ions. For example, the lattice enthalpy of sodium chloride is 788 kJ per mole, which means that 788 kilojoules of energy is required to separate 1 mole of solid sodium chloride into 1 mole of gaseous Na plus and 1 mole of Cl minus to an infinite distance. Okay, now the higher the lattice enthalpy of the ionic compound, greater will be the stability of the compound and hence greater will be the ease of its formation. Now what do you understand from the statement? If the value of lattice enthalpy of an ionic compound is large, it means greater energy is required to separate 1 mole of that ionic compound into its constituent gaseous ions. The ionic compound is then highly stable because you are supplying large amount of energy to separate it. So that means the ionic compound is highly stable and hence greater would have been the ease of its formation. Now there are certain factors which affect lattice enthalpy. First one is the charge on the ion. Larger the value of the charge on the ions, greater will be the attractive forces between them and hence greater will be the lattice enthalpy. Now look at the compounds sodium chloride, calcium chloride and magnesium chloride. In sodium chloride, the charge on sodium is +1 and the charge on chlorine is -1. We know the charge on the ion is equal to the valency of the atom. So, sodium in sodium chloride is univalent and chlorine in sodium chloride is also univalent because it has a charge of -1. Okay, so sodium chloride is a univalent type ionic compound. In calcium chloride, the charge on calcium is +2 and the charge on each chlorine atom is -1. Since there are 2 chlorine atoms, the charge over Cl2 is -2. So this balances the +2 charge on calcium. Hence calcium chloride remains neutral. Okay, so we know the charge on the ion is equal to the valency of the atom. So calcium in calcium chloride is bivalent and chlorine in calcium chloride is univalent because chlorine, individual chlorine has a charge of -1. So this is a bi-univalent type compound. If you take magnesium oxide, magnesium has a charge of +2 and oxygen has a charge of -2. Okay, so this is a bivalent type ionic compound. Now, if you compare the values of lattice enthalpies of sodium chloride, calcium chloride and magnesium oxide, you can see that the lattice enthalpy value of magnesium oxide is very high, which is -3932 kilojoule per mole. This is due to the large values of the charge on the Mg2 plus and O2 minus ions. Okay, the force of attraction between Mg2 plus and O2 minus ions in magnesium oxide is greater due to the large values of their charge and hence greater is the ease with which magnesium oxide is formed from Mg2 plus and O2 minus ions. Therefore, greater will be its stability and hence higher will be its lattice enthalpy. The next factor that affects the lattice enthalpy value of an ionic solid is the size of the ions in the ionic solid. If the size of the ions in an ionic solid is small, the internuclear distance between the oppositely charged ions of the solid will be small. Now, what do you understand from this sentence? If the size of the ions is small, then the distance between the nucleus of the positive ion and the nucleus of the negative ion would be small. As a result, the force of attraction between the ions in the ionic solid will be high. In such a situation, more amount of energy is required to separate such an ionic solid into its constituent gaseous ions. Hence, lattice enthalpy will have a very high value. On the contrary, if the size of the ions is large, internuclear distance will be more. Hence, force of attraction will be less, resulting in low lattice enthalpy values. For example, let us now compare the lattice enthalpy values of sodium chloride and potassium chloride. The lattice enthalpy value of sodium chloride is 788 kJ per mole, while that of potassium chloride is only 719 kJ per mole. This means that 788 kilojoules of energy is required to separate 1 mole of solid sodium chloride into 1 mole of gaseous Na plus ions and 1 mole of gaseous Cl minus ions. Note that the size of sodium plus in NaCl is less than the size of K plus ion in KCl. So the force of attraction between Na plus and Cl minus ions in sodium chloride is greater than the force of attraction between K plus and Cl minus ions in potassium chloride. Hence, the lattice enthalpy value of sodium chloride is greater than that of potassium chloride. To sum up, low ionization enthalpy value of the electropositive atom, highly negative electron gain enthalpy value of the electronegative atom, and the high lattice enthalpy due to high charge and small size of the ions in the ionic compound formed are the conditions which favor the formation of ionic bond. Conditions favoring the formation of an ionic bond are very important from the exam point of view. So students give due importance and learn this topic. With this, I hope you have gained an idea about the ionic bond, electrovalency of an atom, about the formation of an ionic bond, and about the factors favoring the formation of ionic bond. In the next video, I will be explaining about covalent bond. Thank you for watching.